Thanks for watching Wise Monkey. I'll show a few tricks of timing belt alignment of DOHC engines. Here is a H22a, Honda's famous engine, good and bad both. So if not done right, the timing belt gives tremendous problem, nightmare with this vehicle. So lesson learned, knowledge gained, and sharing the knowledge. Right now it's at top dead center. I just installed the timing belt just to show you. It's perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned. All 4 notches, 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, before going far, I show you how to do this. There are 5 steps. Remember, 5 steps or 5-point rule for this DOHC. At least 5. You can have even more than that. So first is the crankshaft bolt. Turn the crankshaft bolt. In the Honda, this engine, it is counterclockwise. So turn it. Some vehicles has clockwise actually. So just check which way the engine rotates. Turn it, and if you did not open this fully, because sometimes you'll not open it, so all you do is harmonic balances will be here. All you do is put the socket and turn it and check the number 1 piston. This is the number 1 cylinder. The cylinder near the timing belt is the number 1 in 4 cylinders. So number 1, you put a long, take the spark plug out, you put a long screwdriver in. I took the spark plug out of all so engine can rotate easily, because it's a high compression engine giving over 220 psi in each cylinder. So it came up all the way and then started go down. That means the piston is at the top dead center, just started to go down. So put it to the top dead center and then check. I'm assuming your covers are still on, right? So you cannot see much. So you can check. You can check through this, the other end of the crankshaft, through this hole right here. You can see, as I aligned, you can see that cross dead on. So crankshaft is aligned on the other side. This side is the flywheel side of the crankshaft, so it has to be aligned no matter what. This is not a problem. Problem is if at this point, when the number 0.1, which is the crankshaft, 0.2, which is the cylinder number 1 top TDC, and 0.3, which was the through the hole of the bell housing, and 0.4 is this guy, the distributor. You at this point you open the distributor cap and check where the rotor's position is. So rotor at this point, this is the number 1 at 7 o'clock. At 11 o'clock it is number 3. At 1 o'clock it is number 4, and at 4:30 position it is number 2 spark plug wire, number 2 cylinder spark plug wire. So the rotor should be aligned pointing towards number 1, which is around 7 o'clock. If it's not pointing there, it will be 180 degrees off here. Your car will never start at that point. All you have to do is, if the 1 and 2 and 3 are good steps, aligned fine, all you do is take the cap off, take the DZ off, turn it 180 degrees from the back, the shaft, and then slide it back into the camshaft. Then make sure the rotor facing towards 1, because your rotor was 180 degrees off. Some DZs are made such a way that it will not go in a 180 or other direction, but Honda made different DZs. Some actually goes 180 degrees without any resistance, a smooth slot, no guide pin, nothing. Trust me, some people think it's not right, and no, trust me, Honda did make these kind of things. I have 10 DZs sitting in my backyard. I can show you. There are all types of DZs. Anyway, now this is the number 4 location to check, right? Now I'll go show you number 5. This is the top camshaft. At this point you took the cover off, of course engine mount off. If you want to take the timing belt off, change the timing belt. So here at this point, if it's all aligned nice and timing is right, timing belt has been camshaft and crankshafts are timed right, then these 4 notches, there are 4 notches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 gears has 4 notches. They will be all in one horizontal line. You can check from the back of the gears, it's easier. Back of the gears, right here the notches are all aligned. Okay, these are the 5 areas to check for ignition timing. Now, how to do this right? This is so good. I mean, even I had a hard time doing this in the past, and that's why I'm making this video, so I can share my knowledge. I have another video showing the same thing, but with one less step. And this today's step, actually, I came up with this idea and it made it easier. So what happened here is, first of all, timing belt sliding out and getting cut. This is my brand new older timing belt. It doesn't even have 5,000 kilometers in it. It kept sliding out and get shredded on this side, hits the balancer shaft belt. Honda made this thing. I talked to the dealership. They said yes, they do not have any guide plate. I asked for a guide plate, timing belt guide. There should be a guide plate here holding the timing belt back so it doesn't come out. They put a balancer shaft gear here, but that gear does not hold the timing belt all the way to the top. It only goes up to there, so the timing belt can still start coming out. Timing belt has to be, this is the start of the timing belt rotation, crankshaft. Right here it has to be held back. They did not. They did it with other vehicles. Odyssey has it, Pilot has it, MDX, Acura, all those Hondas has it. Not this guy, this engine. That is the dreaded mistake. So what I did is I bought a Honda Odyssey timing belt guide. Odyssey has it. When I talked to the dealer, they said, yeah, Odyssey has it. I said, Prelude should have one. No, they didn't make it. There's the problem. Okay, nothing but problem. So this one fits straight into that shaft. Perfect. So I'll take this bolt out. I put it back just to turn the engine. I'll put that, then the gears will go. The other gear for the balancer shaft will go there. Now that's after timing is done and belt is on. So to do the timing right, what I did is, because what happens is these teeth are pretty wide. These teeth are pretty wide. If they're narrow teeth, you can micromanage this gears rotation and align them right. But you cannot, because the teeth are pretty wide. They have to sit on teeth instead of crest. They're sitting on the trough. That's how it's working. So if this bump hits the bump, then it doesn't go, and just to compensate that slack, the gear ends up turning half a turn. So what I did is, what I thought, these camshafts always has tiny bit slack. So if I can distribute that half a tooth width, half here on one camshaft, another half there. If I can split, then I can take the slack off here before I release the tensioner. So, by the way, the hydraulic tensioner, that's another point, is a dreaded nightmare. So I bought the manual tensioner. You'll find enough on Amazon, eBay, whatever. I used to give links, but people really don't buy it through the links, so I gave up. So you can figure it out. I use the manual tensioner, and it is a charm. Now, before we tighten with the manual tensioner released, you put this mark dead on, right on, the way it should be. The back should be aligned with the head, with the surface of the head. And this one, I kept half a tooth down, like below 9 o'clock position, half a tooth. Because then I put the belt on. And belt do not put all the way in. You keep it halfway so that you have some slack at the bottom there. I hold it like that, and there will be slack here. At that point, there will be slack because this tooth is a little bit inward. Now, I'll show you how to remove that slack. At the bottom here, once I route the timing belt, before I put the timing belt into the gear, I move this out of timing to the, instead of 12 o'clock position, I put it to like 12:15 or 12:30 position. 12:30 position, the timing dot. Then I put the belt on. So all the slack on the left side of the belt will be compensated when I turn it to the 12 o'clock position. Dead on. We keep it dead on and the slack is tight on this side. And there will be still some slack here. The slack I just compensated is the side slack, the front of the engine there. Now there will be still some slack here. I didn't tension it yet, right? So what I do it here, I use two wrenches, move this one slightly left, slightly right, tighten both to take the slack out, and then I slide the belt onto the pulley, tensioner pulley. Of course, it's a water pump as well, and to the pulley. Put it onto the pulley, and then I tightened the tensioner. Where is the tensioner? Right there. You see the tensioner? Mike, what's the name? I forgot the name. You saw the name? You can search that and you'll find that it's so much easier. You can do this timing 5 times over in an hour just by that lock nut and wrench instead of the hydraulic tensioner. Hydraulic tensioners has their benefit, but with serious flaws. So after this, I tensioned it high enough, but not too high. Like you can still move it a little bit, but it's pretty tight. You don't want it to slip. And push the belts a little bit back. Make sure all of them are back. Now at this point, I'll take this bolt out and put this guide on, right? Before I put the balancer shaft gear. Now for the balancer shaft, of course there's one gear up here. So there are 2 notches. Make sure those notches are right. Now the bigger problem, notches are aligned. Bigger problem is this balancer shaft. So this one, I locked it. There's a lock pin at the back, right? At the back, above the CV axle, right there. You'll see that I put an Allen key there. Put an Allen key to lock it, right? That key. Now, what happens is, now with the balancer shaft, there are 2 notches at the top that has to align, and this dot is around 5 o'clock position. That's right. But what if someone has changed it, taken this out and put it back without aligning the inside balancer shaft gear? Because they're 2 gear on gear. There's no extra notch or this and that. So how to check that? This is how to check if the balancer shaft, balancer shaft is balanced downward properly. Balancer shaft has a weight attached to the bottom of it, so gravity should pull it towards the look. If I do this, it should come. It should look. As you rotate it, it should come down towards the bottom. Yeah, it just move towards the bottom. You see that? Yeah, because that hole I showed you at the back, the shaft has 3 holes. So it's gonna at least 3 holes. So it's gonna go through a wrong hole if you keep moving this. Okay, so once it comes like this, mine one doesn't move as freely. It should move freely. So gravity should pull it more towards the bottom. More towards the bottom. Like you turn, you will see that is. So this dot kind of stays at the bottom. Then when the hole comes, it's around 5 o'clock. Then it's fine. But if someone turned it, this dot might end up at 9 o'clock. It's still fine as long as you find the equilibrium downward position. Or take these 2 bolts out, take this guy out, align the inside gear first to the dot, then put this back on with this dot, whatever it should be here. So yeah, I think ideally it should be here to the 6 o'clock position. Makes sense that this is the bottom of the balancer shaft, that the weight is hanging at the bottom. Or actually not this dot, sorry. There's another notch at the back that should match to the notch on the wall. So this is the balancer shaft story, and when you put the balancer shaft in, there's a hold down screw here. Make sure the bolt goes right through it, otherwise it will not tighten, and then tighten the belt. So long story short, Prelude must rock.